the, I just want to do this video now just to talk about the bigger picture. It's very easy for us, for anyone who's been a victim of psychopaths in their lives or are currently going through psychopaths, problems at the moment at work, in their families, whatever, people they know. And the psychopaths who run our lives in governments and big corporations, who are the biggest psychopaths of all, and because they're the smartest psychopaths, they're not the bottom feeders. These are the ones we should be really worrying about. Psychopaths, just like the rest of us, there's stupid psychopaths and there's very, very clever psychopaths. When you couple their psychopathic deviousness with intelligence, you have a potent adversary, and they're the ones who everyone is being a victim of at the moment. This brings me to the next point is, well, a psychopath on a personal level or on a bigger level, on the macro level or micro level, enters into your life. You're allowed to go through the revulsion, through the disgust, through the sense of pain and the anger. But then what? You can't live the rest of your life in that situation, trapped that way. You've got to deal with the process. You've got to take it inside you. You've got to rationalize it, process the experience, and move on from that point. You've got to ask yourself questions about yourself and your own personality that you have not asked before, and this is indeed why the psychopath may have come into your life. Something about you needed to be shaken up. It's no use hating the psychopath. Okay, you're gonna feel that way in the beginning, but there's no use hating a psychopath, because it doesn't undo what's happened, and it also doesn't create a situation where from this point forward you'll avoid other psychopaths. The first thing I think we have to process from the experience is that we have to lose our fear. Psychopaths are like robots. They're not driven by the same things we're driven by. They don't have passions. By passions I mean they don't have that sort of primal energy inside them which drives the rest of us to want to live the life we want. They're driven by very different things, and this is why I've come up with the term homo psychopath, because I've been looking at blogs and various other groups, and indeed having had discussions with psychopaths themselves, and even law enforcement agencies have started to look at this aspect too, that psychopaths seem to be, could be, may not be, but it's worth thinking about. Psychopaths may be a new branch of humanity that's developing. Whether they're being deliberately cultivated by the psychopaths in power, through media, whether there is some kind of evolutionary process happening at the moment in terms of human consciousness that's creating them. But it does seem to be a growing aspect. I think the percentage of psychopaths is probably the same that it always has been, but they seem to be getting switched on earlier. They seem to be going into full psychopathic mode, and there's an element of they're almost proud of it. In fact, many of them are proud of it. And you'll see them talking about themselves, oh, we're so powerful, we're so sexy now, everyone is drawn to us. A lot of this is bravado, but a lot of this is genuinely sincere. They really do feel like they're a new breed of people. And this is a growing consciousness, if you can use that term with psychopaths, a growing mentality, I would say would be better, among psychopaths, this new breed, this homo psychopath, that's going to replace Homo sapiens and the rest of us. I think this also feeds into the transhumanist movement, the technical transhumanist movement, where they want to basically replace human beings with machines. It's all about control and destruction of the human soul, destruction of the human potential. And I'm not advocating in any of these videos hatred of psychopaths, I'm, I'm advocating understanding the issue. I'm not advocating a war against psychopaths, a revolution. I'm advocating a raising of personal consciousness inside you and who you are to transcend these issues. The first thing that you'll notice then is you lose the fear. And that's what psychopaths are ultimately after. All the control, all the sex, all the stalking, all the gaslighting, all the flattery, all the abuse, all the dissociation they cause in normal people, all the projection and crazy making, it all comes down to stealing your energy. This is why we must be very careful who we associate with and how we think. We all, quantum physics does tell us indeed that we do create our own reality tunnel. The universe is a mixture of all these different things, these potentials, and through our reality tunnel we get what we want. And we get psychopaths because somehow we wanted them. So you must be very careful from this point on. You must learn how to create things that are going to be good for you. You have to learn how to not use negative phrases that destroy you. Things like saying things like, "Oh, life is a bitch and then you die," because life will be a bitch and then you will die if you start saying that enough and start believing it. You have to look at the language of newspapers. Are you reading a news story in a paper, or are you being programmed? When you watch the news TV shows, are you being given a story that if it's any use to you as a human being, or would you be better off playing a game of tennis, or would you be better off going out in a magnifying glass and looking at flowers, or maybe reading a book on philosophy or spirituality? I mean, is this what we're being told by the universe with this growth in the psychopathic control grid and the homo psychopaths who are now impinging on many of our lives? Are we being told that we've got to stop watching Dancing with the Stars? We got to stop caring about Susan Boyle and start caring about ourselves. We got to start looking at our political leaders and saying, why did this person or this individual want to become a prime minister or a chancellor or a president? Did they really care and want to change the world, or did they just have a need to just control us? Because it seems to me that most people I've known who are ambitious only ever had one agenda, and that was to control us. They never rose through the ranks. They rose through the ranks maybe to a certain point to provide a decent living for their families, and that's okay. They wanted to make their business a success, but there does seem to be a certain point where certain individuals get so rich that it's not about the money anymore. They want to play God. All psychopaths essentially see themselves as gods, and this is why they're doomed, because they will all turn on each other eventually. And I kind of wonder if that's already happening. They don't seem to be getting the agendas through they used to get through. Their little experiments don't seem to be working as well as they once did. People are switching off television in large numbers. Newspaper sales are collapsing. This has nothing to do with the internet, other than the internet is maybe giving people an alternative. But more and more people are just sick of living within this psychopathic control grid they call life in Western societies. So, if you're being a victim of a psychopath, if you've woken up to the fact that the world is run by psychopaths, don't worry about it. You have a remarkable inner potential to lose the fear, to regrasp your true nature and make yourself a better life. And when you do this, the psychopaths will vanish from your life. Don't ask me why it happens. Don't ask me how it happens. If it's some kind of, if psychopaths are psychic and they can actually detect a victim in the same way, they can detect a victim in a group of people the same way a lion can detect that one sick wildebeest or that one slightly slow wildebeest that's buried in a herd of 1,000 animals without actually seeing it. You're no longer, your energy is no longer available to them. So until my book comes out, and until it's closer to my book is coming out, I'm hoping to get the book out in the new year in 2011. I'm still looking around for publishers and stuff. I'll probably have to self-publish it myself with the economy and everything. But I do hope you continue to watch these videos and share them, and try, just take a step back from your life, even if you, and just think, just think and say, am I doing this, or am I engaged in this process, or am I in this place now because I really want to be here, or because somebody or something else is telling me to do this, is programming me to do this, and is the individual or the institution behind this a psychopath or not? Take care.